In this video, I'm going to be showing you a little light creature. I call him Harry. But I must say, Harry may be a piece of debris in my camera. Now that's a possibility. Also is the possibility that he's a little light creature. You determine that for yourself. But play along with me here because I'll be referring to Harry like he was actually a little light being from another dimension. Now I will turn on this video that I just made this morning where Harry was pretty active. And I'm talking in the video, and I'm talking as I take a picture of the video. See, these orbs make beautiful colors in and of itself. That is remarkable that I see into this light world.
There you are. There you are. Showing up with your little body of funny little eye-looking things.
Let me turn this up a bit.
Yep, that's Harry. Now, Harry may be a piece of debris. If he is, he never changes because he always looks like this. And in that case, using glass and a digital camera, one has a very fine microscope if you are debris, shown at a very close range. But then there is this feeling I have that maybe you are a creature of the light. I get you in so many of my pictures. Well, and that's Harry. Now you're showing for me real good, and the camera is working better. You're going to get to be in a movie all about Harry. I'm going to talk about him. Let's see if you have anything else that's traveling along with you. Like you usually do. All these little other things. Yeah. You do. There's that long tube-like thing. That little camera's messing up. Back to Harry, where are you? Looking around your domain. There you are. You got a colorful environment. Yep. This is Harry. Can't get him to show up in this one. He only shows up in that one. If you were debris in my camera, why wouldn't you show up in this orb as well? But no, you only show up in this one. If you were debris, you wouldn't be discriminating enough that you say, no, this is where I am, I'm not in that one. Because you would fall right down into that one if you were a piece of debris. So I'm just assuming, Harry, that you're not debris. Well, I'm going to make a little video about you and your world. Because look at that world behind you. I can span around in there and I can get so much territory. Look at that. You preside over a colorful world. But it's in another dimension. Look at that. You want to come back into the picture, huh? You're traveling and hanging along with me as I explore your world. else to do besides watch you. Oh, you're fading away. Oh well, you were a good little actor. But it's time to go now.
Okay, and then I left out and took pictures, still pictures, where I will show you Harry up close, because now I can do this feature. There he is. Now, in all fairness, I must say, Harry and some of the other things that are in this, like these little pea pod looking things, and this little critter right here that looks almost like a little fairy. Well, quite a lot of these things never show up when I use my new camera, so that could mean all of this is debris. But then, my new camera just might not have gotten character yet, because I don't think all of this is debris, and the very fact that I'm seeing the orbs and their world is amazing enough, so what is more amazing that there's a creature that lives in it. Now I want to show you, here's Harry again. I'll bring these up close. This is the little pea pod looking thing. First of all, I only ever had just one show up. I don't even see him in this one. But now lately, I'm able to show you more. Look at this little double joints on this. This is a little thing like that. Not to mention all this circle stuff in the background. And here's a little pea pod looking thing forming here that's of a different size. And if the debris and all these things that make themselves show in other sizes are just filthy things that are inside my camera, well, then it's awful strange. Especially, is it strange, let me go to a better picture to show you, that all my orbs from this camera have two eyes. See those two eyes right there? Okay, oops, didn't mean to do that. There's two in this, but Harry's hiding them. Let me go to another. See the two eyes here? They always have two eyes. That wasn't a very good picture, nor that one. Okay, you can see them good in this one, because there's the two eyes in that one, and there's the two eyes in that one, and in this one. Now, that would not be debris, because why would debris locate itself in almost the same position in all these orbs? But then there is the question, how come the two eyes don't show up in the orbs that I'm taking pictures of with my new camera? So it's a mystery, a real mystery. I mean, I don't know a whole lot about photography and what can get in your camera, but that does seem to be almost an impossibility, that if there's debris, it would arrange itself in all the orbs in the same place. Just my way of thinking, that's unlikely. And here's some of the stuff that floats around Harry. When I see him, I also see this little other bunch of stuff that I'm pointing to here. Maybe these are light creatures and this is their offspring. I don't know. Or maybe this is something that is actually growing inside this older camera of mine. It is getting to be something of a problem, because it will on its own go back to being small and then large again, right when I don't want it to. But I still keep this camera because it has some amazing features. Now here's this, let me bring you up on this one. There's that pea pod looking thing that has the joints. See? A joint here, a joint there. And here's this little thing that I said looks like a fairy. Some other pictures of it, it looks like a little human with wings, a little fairy-like human. Well, not human, but, you know, body form is human. And it always shows up in about the same place on the screen, and there it is in this photograph too. But what was I going to say about her? Yeah, it must be a piece of debris or a growing thing inside my camera because it's always in the same place. And that one right there, this little pea pod looking thing, why do they seem to be getting concentric circles around them? I don't know. And a lot of things get these little circles around them. It's like it's a world that's watery, and these are bubbles that come up. And what is all this stuff? You know? What is it? But then, what is this dimension I'm looking into? I don't know. All I have for you is pictures and not a lot of answers. I'm going to go to another Picasso. This is where, over a period of time, I've collected hairy pictures, and I kind of feel toward him like he actually exists, and so every time I see him I take his picture. Well, not every time, he comes too often, but quite a lot. So these are just a series of pictures of Harry. He pretty much keeps the same profile, and you never know when he's gonna pop into the picture. That's not him though. There he is. And there. But this orb is sort of slanted. Sometimes the orbs I get are on their side or folded over, or they're wrinkly. This one seems to be very wrinkly. The orbs themselves are amazing. I have no idea that light, I had no idea that light sent itself out and traveled as orbs. And there's orbs within orbs. Look at this thing right here. Wait a minute. I'll get you up close on it. Look at this thing right here. A circle, another circle around that circle, and then another circle. And now see this little black thing right here? Used to, but it's gone away now. Used to. Now I've lost my place. I had a pea pod looking thing, like this one. This pea pod here is one of the ones that I first had. And I don't know if you can see it real well. Oh dear. There he is. Good in this one. And when I get two orbs, I get a double exposure of this little pea pod looking thing. So I will just show you a few more pictures of all this. Pictures of Harry. I like this one. He looks like he's got several exposures, more than one, and see, he seems like, or else he's traveling, because see his little body image goes further back as you look back toward that way. He's a dilemma. But you know what? If this is so, if he is a light creature, maybe I'm the first one to ever show a creature from another dimension. And that would be quite an honor. I would love that to be. There he is again. He has what looks like to me little eyes. And he just seems to keep up with my camera sometimes when I'm moving about in his domain. Sometimes he likes to get under the two eyes of the orb, and then he looks like a face, because the big blackness of him makes him look like a face. Of course, these pictures aren't real detailed. I mean, my camera makes them a little bit hard to see because I don't get the finest detail like better cameras would get. That might or might not be Harry, I don't know. When you take a picture of light, like I've been doing, you sometimes ask yourself the hard questions like, wow, you know, I could just be fooling myself. This may be some normal thing that light does that everybody's familiar with, and I'm just now finding out about. But then I think, no, this is something else. I know it's something else. It's another kind of dimension. But then I also think, see, this is an orb that's traveling. Well, I can take the piece of glass I'm looking through and make that orb travel even further or lengthen itself out even further. So one might say, well, you're just looking at light that you yourself can control its movement by the way you move the glass. And that is so. But then, think about it this way. We are co-creators, and we are made of light, and we are looking at light here. And the observer, according to quantum physicists, the observer is part of the experiment. So we figure in. What we see is sometimes what we expect to see. What we see, we are influencing. And there's just so many questions to be answered about just how much involvement do we have with what we see. And that's where I think this research into the light has taken me, for me to realize that maybe we can have some kind of cooperation with the light. And I say cooperation purposely because you don't want to have the feeling that you could dominate it. That's what we've done to nature all these years. We've dominated. We've forced our way upon on so many things. People, nature, everything, animals. And we don't have to define what this light is, because when you define something, you put it in a box. And you limit its ability to become something else. We even do that with people. We put them in boxes and we say they'll never change, and then they never change because we can't change our conception of them, and we're not helping them when we can't. If we think so-and-so is a drunk and he'll always be a drunk and that's just who he is, then we are helping that person along with continuing in that way of being. Because it is so important for us to realize our thoughts create. And what are they creating? Especially in this world that we're in now, where a lot of people are thinking Armageddon-like thoughts. They're not terribly concerned. Some of the really, really, I don't know a word to describe them. I hate to say anything bad about them, but the fundamentalists, the ones who take the Bible literally, they, in their imagination, see a world that why would you protect the environment? Because it's just going to be burned up anyway. Of course, they think they'll get raptured off of it. But I'm thinking they should think about that part in the Bible where it does say to them, there'll be 1,000 years of peace on earth. Well, we need to do things to our earth to make it less polluted and take advantage of the natural things like sunlight and wind to get our power from, instead of forcing things out of the ground, forcing people to put up with all that pollution that comes very often, like when the oil tankers start losing their oil into the ocean, or the well that is underground in the ocean starts filling up the ocean with oil. And the rivers that turn into things that even can burn, like the Kalamazoo River. That was real sad to me when I heard about the Kalamazoo River being on fire from all the pollutants in it. That was a few years back, and I thought, Kalamazoo River? Well, I didn't know there was a real Kalamazoo. I always played that game in the back of the car with my sisters. I'm going to Kalamazoo, and I'm taking with me and I would name an A word. And my sister would have to say, I'm taking with me and then say my A word and then a B word. And we went all through the alphabet. And you could win if you could remember all of the words that were chosen for all the letters of the alphabet. It was kind of hard to do. It took a lot of concentration on what people used their letter to be. But Kalamazoo to me wasn't a real place. It was like there's no such place as Kalamazoo. And then when I was in San Diego, California, my husband was military, Navy, and we had friends, and guess where they were from? Kalamazoo. I said, really? I didn't know there was a place like that. And then I hear in the news that the Kalamazoo River's on fire. And, you know, there's people who want to deny that we have such a problem with pollution, but we do. An environmentalist, I'm all for them. Maybe some of them go a bit too far, but I think what they do is they go a bit too far because they're trying to protect a big area and lots of things in it. And if they can find one little threatened thing that can get the attention of the public so that they think, yes, maybe we do need to control this. Actually, it wasn't so much that one little thing, it was the whole entire area they were trying to protect from the pollution and from just cutting down forest and all kinds of things that we do to our land. So, I was listening to a video the other day. They had Pat Robinson on there. He was talking about environmentalists, that they were evil sort of people that were just working to bring destruction, the way he told it, because they want to destroy jobs, because they're always saying we got to protect this or that. And I thought, well, Pat Robinson, it wouldn't do any good to have a job in a world that's unlivable. So don't worry about the job first, worry about the earth. And you of all people, you should be concerned. You should be a good caretaker of this earth. You shouldn't be someone advocating pollution and talking against environmentalists. Anyway, that's my 2 cents on that. I'll show you some of the other pictures. Now see, I get all these little tiny circles. I'll close up on this one. See all the little tiniest circles, and then bigger circles, and then these little pea pod looking things with circles around them. If this is debris in my camera, it's hard to imagine. It just is. It's just hard to, where's all the color coming from? Now this is another dimension. And this one camera, that's my older one, it just is capturing it different because of things inside the camera, I do believe. I could be completely wrong. I could be a real nutcase, you know. I've been called that before. So it didn't bother me anymore. I singled out some of the little things that show up in my pictures and did little tiny portions of a picture to show them. Look at this one, isn't it colorful? All that color, and it surrounds us. It's all around in the space we walk around in. It just, we don't have the eyes to see it like our camera does. But I am seeing these colorful things without the camera, with just shining the light in my room toward my bed, and at night I focus on that light, and it's like I had a laser light show just for me, showing me the light in such beautiful ways that I cannot even describe it. I mean, how can you describe this without seeing it? And I see some pretty amazing things in the light. I don't know whether I'm exactly in communication with it or not. I hope to be. But I do know this, it evolves. I could see not as much as I see now, and then I think, well, what will I see next week or next month? This is an evolving thing. Things are going on in an invisible way for some of us, well, most of us, because most of us are just too busy about making a living. And that's all right. There's those of us who have time on our hand, and we'll look for these things, and maybe you'll look at our videos and see what we've been exploring. It is something, oh, here, let me show you this one close up. This is the one I call the little fairy, because look, that looked like a little fairy. There's her two legs, and there's her little wings, and whether it's that, I don't know, that's just my conjecturing. And we're all free to conjecture. Now see this little thing right here? This is a little round circle that's dark in the middle. And now, in the last few days, when I've taken pictures of orbs, I just get the little black circle and not this creature here with the pea pod looking thing. He's disappeared. And what does my mind think but that he crawled into that hole? I might as well be silly because I don't know the explanation anyway, but I just know he's not there anymore. But the hole's still there. So, for me to think that these are little life forms, it's not real hard to imagine when you see something like this and then you see it disappear. Not I didn't see it disappear, but it's not there anymore. But the hole is. So in my mind, he crawled in there just like a little bug. We are surrounded by life forms of every kind and description beyond imagination, because I am told, and I believe it's true, that what is real is more fantastic and more unimaginable than anything you could make up. Okay. I'll go back and give me your comments if you care to make a comment, and if you want to say, hey, you are still sane, you're not crazy yet. I would appreciate that, because sometimes I feel like maybe I am. And then I think, no, I'm not. I can function in life. So I see all these little things, and with the camera and without, and nobody around me is interested. None of my family here cares the least bit. Not that they discourage me. They don't do that. And that's good. They encourage me in every way. But they're not interested in this. That's why I like to get a comment from anyone who says, hey, I'm interested in that. How do you take those pictures? I would like to do that too. I would love to find someone out there who would also want to investigate this, because I think it's worthy of investigation. It may be that we will someday communicate with the light. If the light has information in it, and most people agree that it does, it's not going to be in anyone's language. You're not going to see it in English spelling out words to you necessarily. You might see it in colors inside of an orb. You might see it all kinds of ways. You might see that it has residents within it. We might have to just think outside the box, because really anyone who's ever done anything has been a rebel. They've been someone who went against the grain and had people talk about them like they were, maybe crazy or something. And then they went ahead and did something, brought an invention through that changed the world. And then the people afterwards praised them. So think outside the box, and don't even box anything in anymore. Allow things to be what they are going to be without us having to describe and limit it with our descriptions, because we do that. We limit things, both physical and non-physical things. We limit when we fix a description on it. Well, I mean, we could describe it as, oh, it's ever-changing. It has, the light seems to me, from my experience with looking at it this last year or so, it's like the light has a mind of its own. It has no need to follow any directions we would give it, because what it does is a surprise. Every day I get surprises about what I see in the light. And hopefully, though I'm not going to press the issue, I will be in communication with it someday. I already have a friend, Harry. And maybe he's real, maybe he's a figment of my imagination. But if he is, he's showing up in my films. Can't argue with that. Oh, I did want to mention to those who listen to my videos this. I have got the attention of a film maker. Now, he's going to come in and do a video, do a documentary, and he's going to be filming me. I hope mostly he just films these things instead of myself. But I once used to go to the Peace Pilgrim Center when I lived in California. And when I was at the Peace Pilgrim Center, his crew came out and did a documentary on Peace Pilgrim. And so I was one of the people that he interviewed at that time. So not too long ago, a couple or 3 months ago, he made recontact with me, and he said he's doing a follow-up of the people who went to the Peace Pilgrim Center, follow-up of their lives. So he'll be having a documentary, and I don't know what he's going to name it, but I will let you know in a future video. Maybe I'll be in it, if I don't wind up on the cutting room floor. But anyway, I told him, yeah, come and interview me, because I have discovered something that has to do with another dimension and light. And so he's going to do that. And I have made a video on how to fold the Freedom Star. And I hope you will look at that video, how to fold the Freedom Star. Because this is a symbol, and it's a symbol that people need, a symbol in their life. And this one represents our world united. And even just every step in making that symbol, because it's done with folded paper, is something to meditate upon and think about. Because the steps from folding it and then the completed thing itself, all of them have a message. And I hope you will be curious now, because of what I've said about that you'll go look at that video that I made, how to fold the Freedom Star. Freedom Star is the name Nikola Tesla gave for Earth. And he, of course, he wanted to give free electricity to everyone, all the third world countries, everyone. He wanted to light this world up with electric light. And of course, he was a little ahead of his time. The world wasn't ready for that kind of power. But I think that we're getting ready for it now. Especially when we finally ever do learn that not to have the love of power, but to use the power of love. And then we'll be looking out for one another when we use the power of love, because it is a power such that it built our world and many worlds. And we need to know more about it. Well, this is the Dove Lady. I'm ending this little session with Harry. I'll let him be here at the end, showing his little body, that's a little dark body that darts in and out of my pictures when I'm taking pictures. And this is a video dedicated to him, so I will give his name in the title. And this is the Dove Lady, over and out.